Hello there, and welcome to the Paris Set Me Free Creative Photo Analysis. If you want to see a better version of the photograph I'm going to discuss, then do go to the blog at parissetmefree.blogspot.com, and also have a look at the site, of course, parissetmefree.com. This is the photograph I'm going to talk about today. There it is. It was taken on the 21st of June, which in Paris is the Fête de la Musique. I was going to say in Paris it's the longest day of the year, but it's a little bit more universal than that. And as I walked around with my trusty camera, I was looking for nice things to take photos of, and sometimes it's more difficult than you would think. You expect there to be these wonderfully photogenic bands playing with crazy looking members just waiting to be immortalized, and sometimes it's just not that good. For example, here in this case, this band, there were a whole bunch of people you can see standing around, and they were tuning up, and they weren't sounding that amazing. The singer's microphone didn't work, and so on. So we were just waiting to see if something would happen. The guy was playing his bass, which didn't have a head thing on it. You know, it was one of those funny things with the neck with no bit for attaching the strings. He was playing away, and we were kind of half enjoying that, waiting for the real songs to begin. But kids don't think that way. And here's this little girl, which is obviously the subject of the photograph, the real subject. And it's an interesting photo because I had to make some decisions. My first decision was whether to use this as one of my photographs at all to discuss in a video, because if you looked at the original, there was more stuff here. There was more sky, there were bits of trees, there were more people here. There was a guy here which I chopped off completely. You saw more of these people's backs and so on, and really the little girl didn't seem that significant in the shot, but if you actually zoomed in and looked at her, it's an absolutely marvellous moment, because for several reasons, which is why I decided to use this shot. Just to talk about the cropping that I did use, I kept the guy in. This guy had a guitar as well. I thought, no, this guy has a guitar, that's enough, don't make things more complicated. You can see he's a member of the band, he's got a strap around him, so that's enough for context. I also kept in a row of people here. I chopped off people here because you didn't need it, and then I kept this row of heads to show that the band is completely surrounded, and so was the little girl. And also I kept these people here not only to frame the bottom of the shot, but to actually give her some people to perform to. It gives you the idea that she was in the middle of a group of people, not that she was running away or anything like that, but there is a contact between her eyes. She seems to be smiling directly at these people here who were watching her. So that's an important element. If someone is doing something, it's nice to have them visibly reacting or interacting with another element of the photograph, and that's what you've got here, the little girl and this front row. She seems to be, anyway. What's she actually doing? Well, I hesitate to tell you, but I don't actually think she was mimicking the guitarist. She might have been. No, she might have been, to be honest. But if you just look at her, she's in exactly the same position as the guitarist. Here he is, seriously playing his bass with his. Here's the bottom of the guitar. Here's his hand, and here's his arm up here. And look at the girl. Here's her little hand happily strumming away on her imaginary guitar, and here's her other hand up here holding on to not the neck of the guitar, but some sort of fluffy bunny or something, which is cute. She's having a great time. Look at the expression on her face. It's marvellous. She's got, excuse me, got a bit of a cold. She's got one foot up in the air, so it's like she's stamping time to the music. Lovely smile. And also look at the light. The light is coming from behind, of course. You can see the shadow here, and also because the light's behind, what we call contre-jour, which is a French expression which means against the day. Contre-jour shooting is when you shoot into the sun. You've got to watch out for camera flare when you do that, so pop your lens hood on, possibly cover the front of the lens with your hand, not completely of course, to stop the sun going into it. Watch out that you don't get a picture of some of your fingers in the shot. And you can see the sun flare here. You can even see it because of the window which is reflecting, but there's some real flare, camera flare here, but it doesn't really matter because it just fades out nicely into the distance. But what I really wanted to say about contre-jour was you've got the sun highlighting the edge of her hair here. If I had much hair, I could demonstrate for you as well, but I don't. So that's one of the great effects of contre-jour, shooting into the sun. The edges of people tend to be highlighted, especially the hair, which is thinner than the edge of an arm. The edge of her arm is highlighted here. The edge of her, even her bunny's ears have got sun shining through them, through the fur, and the same with her hair. So that's a very nice effect. Anything else to say about this photograph? Well, it's kind of a square format. I had real problems deciding what to keep in and what to get rid of. This is a glorious McDonald's here in the background, but luckily nothing really says that it is, so that hasn't particularly spoilt the project in the way an enormous yellow M might do. So that's fine, doesn't really get in the way. Gives some sort of context of the street. You can see that they're in the street performing. The people are watching her, which is nice. There's some sort of conversation going on here. That's okay. The sun, again, another contre-jour effect which I didn't mention, but which is important, and that is that the sun is shining through her semi-transparent little dress here, and you can see the edge of her little body there. So that's another attractive effect of light coming from behind. It shows up different levels of transparency through clothes, which gives a sense of the warmth of the evening, and the long shadows tell you that it's evening as well. The greenery in the background, it's actually Jardin de Luxembourg, which I spent some time taking photographs in earlier on. There's some others on my site of that. Anything else to talk about in this photograph? Some people get kind of paranoid about taking photographs of kids. In French law, you're not supposed to. They're pretty strict on it, but it's a very strange thing, you know. People doing things in the street. There's hardly any possibility, probably, that the people who this little girl belongs to will ever see this photograph. I personally can't see that anyone could really do anything sickening or horrible with this picture. And even if they did, I mean, who would end up seeing it apart from weirdos? So really, you know, unfortunately, although this is a consideration these days, I tried to hope that human nature is, you know, there's far more good people than bad, and that people will enjoy this photograph. In any case, all you have to do is to go onto the internet on any site on MySpace or Flickr, and you see millions and millions of pictures of people's kids, you know, for anyone to do anything with. So unfortunately, you know, a horrible aspect of this, but anyway, there it is. A photograph which at first didn't seem to be that amazing. I thought that the photograph wasn't worth anything, but then when I started cropping around, playing around, and when I saw this gorgeous little pose, plus I realized that she was echoing perfectly the position of the guitarist, I thought, yep, I'll make it one of my photographs. So there it is. Hope you enjoyed that little chat about that. See you next time. Bye bye.
Depuis que je suis à Paris, le jour et la nuit, je suis gris. J'ai compris la douceur de vivre. Je suis fou de joie, je suis ivre. Depuis que je suis à Paris.